Hi. So, the first thing that I'd like to ask you is, like, what was your path before you actually became a customer? Like, where did you actually find me?
Yes, so I have been into like couple of programs, like I many people know like these bigger programs,
Yeah.
and one of my like fellow is owner recommends you specifically like on Instagram outreach because
Hmm.
emails didn't work that good for me, and I know Instagram was available channel to try, and yeah, I wanted to learn about more of that, and I started to looking your like Instagram stories and Facebook group content and whatnot, and yeah, I really like your content on there, and decided to slide your DMs and
Yeah.
book a call, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you were like you were to get because you're currently running it like yeah you're currently running an e-commerce agency, and you were using emails to try to book appointments, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Had you ever tried Instagram outreach before you worked with us?
I a little bit, but not that much. Maybe like maybe a few hundred DMs or something like that, but not that much.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, nice. And once we got on a call, like, what made you decide to move ahead and join the program?
I mean, I think you have like pretty good like systems in place in terms of like Instagram outreach. So the system is something that makes sense and
Yeah,
it's easy to follow. And yeah, you have a lot of like social proof, great results, and yeah, I think this basically if I get like one client out of this, it's positive ROI. So yeah, it
yeah,
was to me.
nice. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people really like because a lot of people are like, oh, before they let's say they start working with me, they're like, oh, like, can you guarantee meetings? Can you do this? But I'm like, no one can actually guarantee you meetings. Like, no one, right? So what I like to say is, well, we tend to make it unreasonable for you to not book meetings. But many people, especially in this agency space, they don't actually see outreach as something that like they think that you can just get a secret way of getting meetings and you'll probably send like 10 DMs, 10 emails, and you'll book meetings, right? But they
Yeah,
forget the fundamental of the principle of outreach, which is volume negates luck. Like if you're not doing enough volume, whether it's email, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, you will actually not get any results,
yeah,
right? So that's something that is really important, and that's why I always preach people like, hey, hire virtual assistants, right? And when you join the program, like the consulting program, also like we included the virtual assistant, right? So that's it. Because even if I give you the right system, I actually want to also give you something else that can actually make the system work because you might be busy. You might not necessarily want to do outreach every single hour of the day, right? But if you get someone you can pay $3 per hour, they can actually do it for you. It's pretty cheap, and you can get it done, right? So
yeah.
that's really something that is really, really important. Like any agency owner that is out there and not necessarily, even if they have the right system, but they're not disciplined enough, like yeah, get a VA. So what was your situation like? Tell me about like what was your current situation with your agency before you actually started working with me? Like how many clients did you have? How long have you been trying to get clients and things like that?
Yeah, so I started like my it's like probably like in last August, I would say. But I was still in school and also like working part time, so I didn't have like much time. So I was waking up pretty early and working like a couple of hours on the side with my agency. But yeah, it was pretty tough, and I didn't
Yeah,
get like much results. So I have working pretty long time now, so I have like enough savings,
yeah,
and I actually quit my job like I think was last February, and yeah, I decided to like commit like full year on only with agency, and
yeah,
it was actually like 2 weeks after I quit my job, I got my first client, but there's only
yeah.
like only performance based fee, and
Okay.
did bring on kind of like bad clients, so we didn't get results for those guys. So I leave
Yeah,
that client like probably 2 months after. But yeah, before I started working with you, I only had like that client. But yeah, I had like savings, and I think I need to. My only problem was like booking meetings. So I had like media buyer on board, and I know that if you are consistently working with your clients, you able to produce results if you're working
yeah,
with good brands. But the biggest problem, I think, with most agency owners, is the book meetings. So
book
that's why
meetings. Yeah,
I started to invest in you, and now I have like 4 paying clients currently.
nice. And like, were the systems that you got from the consulting help you with like a client closing those clients? Was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
through the things that you learned from our program?
yeah, definitely. Because I know that many people in especially this age space, they only rely like cold email or something like that. But you actually have to learn like outbound prospecting and what that really means. So you have to build like assets and resources and conversion mechanisms to actually convert people. You just
Yeah,
can't anymore send like 30 emails and book one
and
meeting.
book.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, and
So
it's yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so you really need to like add value to your prospects to try to book meetings. So that
Yeah.
definitely, I think, was the biggest thing, like this like whole outbound prospecting term, and not just like email or DMs.
Yeah, 100%. And and yeah, thank you for that. So one thing that I've, because I had to struggle to actually book meetings in order to learn all this stuff, right? I think I went maybe like 7 months, 8 months without booking a single meeting, right?
Yeah,
And I knew that these agency courses, like, they weren't the path to actually growing a business. Yeah, they might tell you how to structure your agency and things like that, but you really want to know how to book meetings, go see the industries where they literally rely on outbound prospecting, organic,
yeah,
to book meetings with, like, CEOs or C-suite level people, right?
yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, it's definitely insane. And especially in ecom, like, if you're running an e-commerce agency and you're not building assets, like, all you're doing is just saying, hey, I can help you increase your revenue, even if you're using emails or Instagram, impossible.
Yeah,
Impossible. Like, it's actually scary, because there's so many people saying the same BS, that these brands are like, what the hell is going on, right? So one of our strategies is always providing value, and actually, um, like, just having an edge on your competitors, right? So that's really keen. And how much are you currently bringing in MRR revenue?
so my MRR is like 4K a month. So the first 2 clients were a little bit like smaller, and I might like a little bit underpriced myself with
Yeah,
those ones. But yeah, my MRR is like 4K, and I also with three brands we have like performance fees, and
yeah,
especially these last 2 ones that I have closed, they are spending a little bit more, so like 10K ish a month. So if we
nice.
get like good results with those ones, I think I can hit like 6K a month or something like that.
Nice, for sure. Yeah. I recommend that like you try to just give out a huge price at first on your sales
Yeah,
calls. Like, say, hey, we normally charge like 10 grand or 5 grand, and then just say, but since we're starting building this relationship, I'd like to start at 2.5K as a retainer. Plus, if you want to charge return on ad spend, you can do that. But actually give them, like, anchor them on a really big price, and then bring it down just for them to feel like you're actually doing them a favor. But if you actually, because did you try it, or how did the sales call go? Did you
I
just
have.
say
Yeah, I know what anchoring is, but I haven't tried myself
no?
self that yet. Yeah,
Yeah, man, you've got to do it, because, like, prices are actually made up, right? Like, pricing doesn't, like, I know a lot of people can be like, oh yeah, we have this, like, it cost me this, it cost me that, so then I have to have 50% margins at least. like prices are made up, right?
Yeah.
So there is literally no explanation to pricing. So you have to stand your ground, believe in your ability, like actually give yourself value, give yourself standards, because if you don't give yourself standards, nobody else will, right? So yeah, after 3 months, you better get those clients to pay you at least 4K each, right? Because
Yeah.
that's how you feel good. Yeah. So yeah, and right now, like I actually think you're probably the second client who joined the consulting program, right? Probably like a month or two ago. And
Yeah. Like
and
6.
yeah. So yeah, I think it's pretty good results. I believe so.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think it only like compounds. So once I like really nailed I still testing a bunch of stuff, and once I really get that message in that books like 3 to 4 meetings a week, it should be solid. And I even haven't yet like start building my audience and
Mm,
personal brand. So that would be like big thing as well.
yeah. Yeah, because when I first started the consulting program, I didn't actually push this building a brand and building an audience, right?
Yeah,
But now it's where the money is at, right?
yeah,
So I mean, I'm not going to go too much details on this call, but like please make sure you're spending time building your network and actually building assets, okay? So you now have a few clients in, so you can actually play with their case studies, bring up case studies, talk with your clients, understand their current situation, or give them crazy results and just use them to market yourself. But like I literally, I'm willing to bet that you could even stop all Instagram outreach, everything, and just focus on building an audience, just like we do it. Um, and you could make like 40K a month before the end of the year,
yeah,
literally.
yeah, yeah. That is one thing I definitely is pretty awesome with the program because no one talks about like building audience and brand and essence like things like that. At least
Yeah,
these like uh, popular like programs, but that is
yeah,
necessary today because you have to have like personal brand and social proof
you
to
have
do.
to. Yeah. And look at the big guys who are making like six figures a month, a week. Like these guys are not necessarily doing, they're not. So some people might tell you like, hey, do send 100 emails a day, send this. But if you look at what they're actually doing, they're not doing that. So like why? Because people like, see, something that I've noticed that a lot of people are just, I feel like people are just too naive and they just believe what the person is saying instead of actually observing the truth, right?
Mhm.
And it's something that I've always done. I've never really been someone, I'm not necessarily the smartest person, I'm not the most technical person, but one thing that I'm definitely good at is actually just being able to look at the people who are winning and look at what they're doing and doing the same thing. I'm never going into a course, a program, just to actually just to learn what they're teaching, because sometimes that's not the best. Like I literally just spent the most I've ever spent on a program. I spent like 8.6 grand, right, on a program. I got in
Mhm.
the program, I noticed that I literally knew everything, but one thing that I did not know is that I could literally remove myself from the delivery of like a consulting program, right? So that was good. But
Yeah,
like nobody else is preaching this, nobody's telling agency owners to build audiences and brands. So I think that anyone who's building a brand and gathering, like just building up an audience, will literally get breakthroughs that no one else, while everyone is fighting through emails or Instagram, like we're just out here just getting all the attention, right?
yeah, for
that's how
sure.
you that's how you really like scale really fast.
Yeah, and I think that is the stuff that really compounds. So after you have built your audience like 1 to 3 years,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
makes a huge difference.
yeah. It's crazy because like then you don't even need to do outreach anymore. You just literally have to say, "Hey, I have room for one more client," right?
Yeah,
And then boom, you just get a client like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, and but yeah, I think that's pretty much. But yeah, so but yeah, I'm still keeping building this program. I think the more I learn, the more I like. I evolve, the better also this programs becomes. But yeah, the building a brand, building in like an audience for an agency is going to be insane.
Yeah, and also like it's important to, so that is also another great thing if you actually teach a little bit like how to make a great offer. So because you can't just go to the market and offer like Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So you really need to
Right.
be smarter than that as yeah.
Yeah. What? That's so funny because like I even forgot to ask you, but like, what are the main key things that you like the main, let's say, components that you got from the program that
So
really
yeah,
helped switch your like your perspective on things?
so yeah, I was only doing like Facebook ads when I started, and yeah, when I had a couple of calls with you, we talked about like email marketing and opportunity on there. So currently, we are doing like Facebook ads and then also like back end email marketing
Mm, yeah, because
because I
because yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think with e-commerce it just isn't enough that you only know like Facebook ads. Because e-commerce also is hyper competitive currently. So like for example, 2 years ago it mm, was enough like just drive traffic with ads to your website and the store
Yeah,
converts. But now because there is so much competition, customers are
yeah,
smarter. You really need to have like great understanding like the whole e-commerce growth, like
yeah,
content marketing, like back-end marketing with EMS, like maximizing the customer lifetime value because the advertising costs are constantly increasing, and also a little bit like
hmm,
conversion rate optimization and yeah, things like that.
yeah, 100%. I think even more in ecom because if you're in the local business, like you can't. It's not like you can go 100 ways. I mean, you couldn't definitely go 100 ways to acquire, get them leads, right? But like, why try all this complex stuff to get people leads when you could just run a lead gen campaign and actually just build up a system for follow up and nurturing them? But the the income space, if you're just relying on Facebook ad, like come on, like like it's just so hard. It's you can
Yeah,
actually still close clients, but it's just that you're there is just a wall because everybody else is pushing, pumping, pumping, pushing, pushing, cold outreach, right? So the actual energy it takes to get in and close a client is just so like high up here, right? So one thing that I'm pushing a lot is like come up with offers, come up with better offers, right? Offers that can serve a really large audience within the e-com space, right? Because Facebook ad, the funny thing with Facebook ad is only a tiny percentage of people in e-com actually can benefit, actually want and can do Facebook ad,
yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah,
Because
and yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
it makes like lead generation easier as well because I oftentimes like when I might do like lead generation, I come across like very good looking brands and with good products, and then I go like the ad library and they're already running like 200 ads. So it doesn't make sense me to reach out with them for like advertising, but then I can reach out with like email marketing and
Exactly, right? Because the thing is to be able to be a brand that, well, actually the thing is, if a brand can run ads, they're already doing it. They're not
yeah,
going to wait for an agency to come reach out to them. They'll either hire in-house or they'll just get uh, one of the agency that has DM'd them out of the thousands of agencies who has DM'd them, right? But the other thing is they sometimes also need the volume, like the actual inventory to sell. So if they don't have a large inventory, like let's say they make necklaces, like things that take much more attention to make, right? That are crafted like by hand, like
yeah,
these guys, like what are you going to do? Are you going to spend $100 and sell all their inventory? Like it doesn't make sense, right?
yeah,
So it's like it's good that a lot of these experts are not telling people the truth. It's like for you to actually sell someone Facebook ad, they not only have to have the budget for the paid ads, they have to have the budget to pay your retainer. They have to have the inventory to sell, and they have to have the customer service to handle that volume. They need to make sure that like the delivery logistics is on point
yeah, and
because
margin needs to be high as well.
right? So if any of those things isn't in place, then they don't need Facebook ad, right?
Yeah, and also like the big money is made from the like back end, like emails and maximizing lifetime value.
Exactly.
And
So,
like so many brands are neglecting like email marketing because they know it can work.
yeah, but don't give out too many secrets. Don't bring in too many competition in your niche. But like, for anyone who's currently watching this video, it's like your offer will make or break you, right? I made a video the other day saying that, I struggled for like 7 months to scale my agency, but although I did get one client, it's only after I switched to the outbound prospecting agency that I scaled to 30K per month in like 60, 90 days, right? So it's like I could have pushed as much as I wanted to the advertising. It could have probably taken me a year or two to actually get to 30K per month, right? But just because, I had an audience, I had a good offer, boom, everything matches, and then you just scale like crazy. But yeah, man, thank you for having hopped on this call. So yeah, did you have anything that you wanted to add on here?
Yeah, no worries. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I have been really enjoying your program. It's great that you still like putting new stuff in the program like constantly, and we having like 2 weekly goals, which is great. And yeah, good
Yeah,
community on there as well. So it's not just like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, but actually like a constant
yeah,
process.
it's an evergreen process. And yeah, so yeah, anyone who's interested in joining the program, you get some material to actually go through, but it's an actual evergreen program. So it's not like oh, you do this for like 60 days, 90 days, and then you're making 100K a month. No, it's like we'll work together, because like I know a lot of people would like to make like to make it short term. It makes people more enticed to actually join the program. But for me, it's like nothing happens in 3 months. Like you might make a miracle happen, but the goal is not to get a few retainers and get to 50K a month. Like no, it's to actually sustainably make 50K per month every single month for like the next 100 years, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I cannot do that by just keeping people in the 90-day, like in a 90-day program. So I just say, hey, here is the content, and Tuesdays and Thursday we're hopping on calls, come in, learn new stuff, and talk about what you're having trouble with. So it's that continuous support that is really amazing, and that makes it unreasonable for any agency out there or anyone who doesn't have an online service business to actually scale. But yeah, I just wanted to get on this call and just talk to you, because well, I might actually, I think you probably were the first client. So
Yeah,
uh, so it's actually good just to see you get results, and to also understand the importance of long term and compounding effect, because
yeah,
anyone who doesn't understand that will give up,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me just stop this recording.